The dog in this bitch, and I've abandoned my fucking mic again. Like that last mic cost me like 65 quid, yeah. But I just feel like the volume's not the one. Like the clarity is there, but when I listen to it back, I got my TV volume on like all the way up like Fat Joe, yeah, just to be able to hear what the fuck I'm saying. Was with this, even though it's not as clean, at least you can hear, man. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it sounds like I got some bass in my voice. Do you know what I mean? Barry White up in this bitch. So yeah, man, there's no mic, but yeah, if anyone wants to buy a mic, honestly, it's so good. Honestly, you can hear the volume comes through. It's perfect. It's only 70 quid. Do you know what I'm saying? But I let you guys have it for like 66. But let me know, get in the comments if you need a mic. So yeah, here we are. It's the rematch. Smith versus Eubank 2. There's still some tickets going, in Manchester. I did actually think about it, but I don't really feel well, so fuck it. But yeah, uh, I suppose it's a bit disappointing, I think, really, for a pay-per-view fight to not even have sold out. The night before, at this point, I doubt they will sell out. Um, let's be honest, there's not that much intrigue to it. The first time around, it was a question of do you give Smith a shot? Now it's a question of do you give Eubank a shot? Me personally, I don't give Eubank a shot. And other than like just getting caught into the salesmanship at the last minute last time around. I didn't give him a shot last time either when the fight was first announced. Um, and I think the main problem and I watched the fight back as well. Smith is just a really intelligent boxer. He's really thinking in the ring. Yeah. And people say, oh, well, Eubank was winning the fight. No, he wasn't, bro. No, he wasn't. Maybe he was winning the rounds, but that's not the same as winning the fight, right? Smith was doing what he wanted to do in there, right? He was drawing the feints, he was maneuvering Eubank, he was measuring him, he was landing the jabs he wanted to land, right? I think Smith's got an underrated jab. Um, and ultimately, he was maneuvering Eubank, yeah, into the corners, which is really what Smith wants to do. And his his boxing IQ and his footwork, right? Not necessarily footwork in the Floyd Mayweather, Willie Pep sense, yeah, in terms of evading punches, but Smith's footwork to get into position to land shots, right? And to back you into the corner, back you into areas that you don't want to be in, pause. Do you know what I mean? Is very underrated. And I just don't know what Eubank's going to do. And ultimately, Eubank has done what he's done throughout his whole career, which is when he makes a bad decision, he doubles down on it, you know, and he doubles down on this whole like googogging celebrity like mindset that he has. And you can understand it when your dad's like one of the most famous people in the country, right? You probably think that is the barometer of success, right? How well known are you? How much name value do you have? Um, is something to chase. But he's gone after Bomac after the Terence Crawford performance. Before that, and basically, so Bomac's not really his trainer. Emotionally, it's Terence Crawford, and before that, emotionally, it was Roy Jones. Before that, was his dad. But like his commitment to boxing is not there. And I've said this a million times as well, but when you're going on podcasts, business podcasts talking about how you're losing your marbles and do you know what I mean, you like looking for sympathy, like you're done with boxing, man. So just yeah, man, listen, you fooled me the first time. Good on you, bro. Honestly, like, I tip my hat to you. You really fucking sold me into it with the bravado. But now I just can't, I can never back Eubank again. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's up against like literally a kebab shop owner, bro. Do you know what I mean? Or not even an owner, just someone that works in the kebab shop. Do you know what I mean? A kebab shop owner's nephew. Yeah, then I could never really back Eubank in a fight. Definitely not against someone like Liam Smith. So, but I do think this time he's probably going to stand and fight a bit more, so it could be more entertaining. And I think because Smith doesn't necessarily know, how Eubank's going to fight, he might stand off him for a little bit longer. So I feel like we could be in for a 6 to 9 round fight. And I also think that because Eubank's going to go for broke and he knows at this point he's got nothing to lose, right? Um, it might be a bit more entertaining. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily increase the odds of a Eubank victory before people think I'm contradicting myself. I'm not, right? You can have a more entertaining fight with more back and forth, but ultimately it doesn't change the probability of the outcome itself, right? So give you an example, you couldn't see a more dominant performance than Fury versus Wilder 2, right? And then the second fight was so much more back and forth. But do you know what I mean? Did you ever really think that Wilder was going to win the fight, right? Did you like? Personally, I didn't. Even though it was far more entertaining, and even though what I mean, he knocked Fury down and whatnot. It's just the entertainment and the probability of the result are two different things in boxing, right? And so I think we could see that. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw Smith get knocked down. Do you know what I mean? If Eubank is really going to go for broke, but ultimately, I don't think he has the IQ or the length of the length of partnership and like settled. Yeah, I don't think he has that relationship with his coach, right, to carry out a game plan, and he certainly doesn't have the ability to figure one out himself. So yeah, it could just be a more entertaining loss this time for Eubank, and it could be just enough to keep him in the game. Where even if he loses, it's a closer, more competitive fight, and he shows his heart. Maybe scores a knockdown. It's enough to kind of keep him in for a Ben fight or something like that. So yeah, that's that. Looking at the undercard, I saw Fraser Clark and Dave Allen, at a weigh-in, and I've definitely like lost any sense of like nostalgia or rose-tinted glasses that I might have had about Dave Allen. I kind of thought maybe he's got a chance, but looking at him at the weigh-in, he doesn't look like much at all. And I just don't believe him. Do you know what I mean? You like what have you done for me lately, Dave? Nothing, bro. Like, and it also makes me think that looking at the shape of him and looking at how pally him and Fraser Clark are, who go way back from the amateurs, yeah, is this even a work? Do you know what I mean? Is this just a work? Is this like, hey, Fraser, mate, do you know what I mean? I know you're looking for an opponent. I've got a name. I can give you a few rounds. Do you know what I mean? And don't go too harsh on me, kind of thing. I've got a kid on the way. I won't mind a payday. Yeah, no worries, Dave. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, 100%. Like, we'll take it to points. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that is going on because everyone's a winner. Do you know what I mean? For Fraser Clark, it's a name on his record. You know what I mean? It's a big recognizable name. And for Dave Allen, it's a payday. And if his mate, do you know what I mean? They've sparred rounds together. Even if it isn't a work, at least he knows that he knows like this guy's patterns where you can go in there and not get hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, I kind of had Dave Allen as a bit of a live underdog. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a 40% chance of winning. Now I probably put it at like 5%, if that, to be honest with you. I don't see him doing shit. Maybe even 1%. I saw Florian Marcoux kind of building up a bit of a niche for himself with the shoves. Do you know what I mean? First Chris Congo, now this I'm not sure what his name is, Dave Ryland or something like that. Some Irish fighter. He gets the shove off, doesn't he? But at the end of the day, fuck Florian Marcoux, do you know what I mean? Because he's so boring. Like he in the build-up, he gives it the whole aggressive act, but then he's the furthest thing from aggressive in the ring. He likes to get on his back foot and do you know what I mean, jab his way to victory. He's a boring fighter. At the end of the day, if it wasn't the fact that he's like Kosovan or whatever he is, and he has like a big following from that community, nobody would give a rat's ass, do you know what I mean, or whatever is in Kosovan cuisine, do you know what I mean, about Florian Marku. So yeah, bollocks to that. Michaela Mayer, I do like Michaela May, I'm not gonna lie. Um, just I just like her attitude, and story, and the fact that there's not really that many female fighters apart from Katie Taylor that I can think of who have like kind of done the traditional route, who kind of come up through the Olympics and then, do you know what I mean, fight at regional level, fight their way up to a world title, whatever. And I do think she's just like she's got that classical Olympic boxing style, and I do kind of wonder in boxing in general, but especially in the women's game, you know, when these fighters they haven't got no pedigree, they haven't really got no technique, and all of a sudden they start like, do you know what I mean, winning big fights or banging people out, they're probably on the juice. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I jumped up from 130 to 147. Fuck me. Three weight classes, do you know what I mean? She says she's still dieting just to make 147, which makes you wonder what the fuck was she doing to make 130, do you know what I'm saying? Mad. But other than that, no VADA testing, do you know what I mean? Which is poor. I know Ben Shalom's making a bunch of excuses, but no VADA testing is poor. Do you know what I mean? Kind of reaffirms what Eddie Hearn's saying. And yeah, let's see what happens, man. I think if Eubank wins, certainly sets the cat amongst the pigeons. Do you know what I'm saying? Well, I'd be very surprised. Yeah, and also, I mean, that whole team, Bomac, is a bit suspect if you ask me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what nobody, and call me a hater if you want, yeah, but ain't there's something dodgy about Terence Crawford's like size gain. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how the fuck Terence Crawford's coming in the ring wider than and bigger than Errol Spence. Obviously Amir Khan was training with them. Amir Khan popped dirty. There's no VADA test in this fight. You know what I mean? It took more than a year for it to come out that Khan popped dirty for the Brook fight, which was also on the Boxer. Even though I think they did have VADA for that, but he was popped by UCAD. This only has UCAD. So yeah, I mean, maybe if Eubank comes out looking $1 million, do you know what I mean? Especially when he's part of that camp, you'd have to ask a couple of questions. But at the end of the day, you know, both fighters knew what it was with the drug testing when they signed up to it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But final prediction, I'd say Smith between 6 to 9 rounds. Peace.